The following is a presentation of iRacing on PTR TV. We'd like to thank all of our channel partners for their support. Please like and subscribe to the channel, and we hope you enjoy today's broadcast.
With just 4 races left in the regular season, it's crunch time for these Area Pro Series drivers, and we head to a track no better than Dover, Delaware, home of the Monster Mile, where cars like to get torn up and guys like to make their name felt. Like the likes of Earnhardt, Petty, and Jimmy Johnson. We've had the likes of Hearn, Robertson, and Scioli. Who is going to be the next driver to add their name to the list of winners here? Only time will tell. 140 laps slated for us here tonight for race number 9 of the Florida State Builders Area Pro Series. I'm Hunter Sleppy, and alongside me is going to be Brad Dalton, kind of running the shift here. Corey is off doing fun stuff over in Disneyland, so he's with me tonight. So, Brad, good to have you here, and had some racing going on here Tuesday night, and I don't think we'll have as many yellows as we do, as history pertains. We only had about 2 to 3 yellows a race here, so don't think we'll see that, but excited to have you with me for tonight.
Yeah, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. It's weird to be in the position of commentating on Thursdays. I know I did a couple of Thursdays here in the Area Pro Series with Hunter and Corey, and then, Hunter and Corey did such a good job. I let them take over the reins, but of course, we had to give Corey the break and let him have a little bit of fun. He had to go do the dad duties at Disney. So, Corey, if you're watching this, by the way, I want to start out by saying poutine should have a lot more gravy than what you sent me the photo of. But hey, you know what? I won't hold it against you, at least tonight. So, Hunter, we're going to have some fun here tonight. I'm pretty excited about this. The Pro Series, I always like to watch it since I don't have to be in the booth. And it always produces some pretty good racing. So, Sebastian Mayer, of course, the driver to beat, and I think somebody might beat him tonight.
Well, someone beat him last week over at Chicagoland, and really this season it's either been Logan Clampett or Sebastian Marin who's been making their presence felt. I mean, we only had one other winner besides him before Chicagoland, and that was at Daytona with Matt Kemp. Then Marin won twice in a row, then Clampett twice in a row, then Marin went on another 2-race stretch where he won at Rockingham and Darlington. But last week, it was Zach Nichols who was able to pull through and get his first win of the season at Chicagoland. Only led 10 laps in that one, and that's kind of the name of the game here for Dover. Not really too many drivers go on to win the race if you lead the most laps here. Like, for example, back in Season 6, it was James Scioli. Took the lead with 11 laps remaining and went on to win. And last season, I'm not sure if we'll see this again. The last 110 laps, or the last 100-plus laps, went caution-free. 110 to go is the time the last yellow came out. And like I mentioned, we don't really get too many yellows here, so we usually have a lot of clean green flag racing. Could be a little different tonight. Some guys are not getting used to the car. They're complaining about it being a little bit too loose, and then it'll get tight the longer the run goes before it goes back to being loose. Should be fun nonetheless, trying to see which guy can dethrone the 24 Sebastian Marin, who has just been on a charge this season. Only has a 12-point lead over James Scioli, who is still winless heading into Dover.
Yeah, I think Sebastian Marin is going to be an interesting one to watch. And here's the thing, too, to remember as we go through this season and go through these rounds. You know, we're race number 9 here at Dover. When we hit the playoffs, the fact that Sebastian Marin has won so many races and has been so dominant kind of doesn't matter, because once we hit the playoffs, if he can't capitalize in the playoff run, well, it's this driver right here sitting in the pits, James Scioli, who can really bring things through. 4-time area champion. I would not be surprised if that 609 Motorsports number 7 could find a possible 5th championship coming through, because again, once you hit the playoffs, everything resets, everything gets challenging, everything gets interesting, and that's where things get really, really fun for everyone involved.
Indeed, he's got the most top 10s, tied the most top 10s this season with Jake Nichols, his counterpart over there with the 609 group. Looking through the point standings, I mentioned it's crunch time. Some of these guys, I think Logan Clampett's here. If not, then that would put him in a tough spot for the playoffs because he's only got 5 starts this season, 2 wins to his name, but he's going to fall outside the top 20 in points if he's not here. Mentioned Matt Kemp, the winner at Daytona. He has a win to his name, and he made it up to 18th in the standings. And in order to make the playoffs for area, you have to have a win. You have to have at least, I believe, 10 starts, maybe 9 on the season. And you also have to be inside the top 20 in points. So a little bit of a prerequisite there in order to get inside the playoffs and have a shot for the title. But he's 18th in the standings. Everybody else is up there near the top. Marin with 4 wins to his name first in the standings. And then Zach Nichols, third in the standings, got his first win of the season last week at Chicagoland. And now we got qualifying where it's only going to be, I think it's only going to be 1 lap. This is one of those where it kind of teeter-totters between being a short track and a super speedway. It definitely has speeds of the super speedway, but it's only 1 mile in length, so I'm not sure specifically if it's only 1 lap or 2 for this track.
I believe it is 2 for this track. At least it was on it was Tuesday night, where we saw a lot of drivers really capitalizing on their qualifying times as they ran through. We'll get the ticker pulled up here on the side so that way you can see the fastest laps come through and see how everyone does. Of course, we are going to start out following around with Philip Groner. This is going to be a driver to watch, I think, who is going to try to find a good time. As the first times are coming in, it's 23 and a half currently is the time to beat. So who has the speed? Who has the pace? That's the $1 million question here. And I'm really interested to see how everyone sort of brings it through. This driver, Jimmy Cocker, has managed to find a great time here early on up on the top.
Just got dethroned by Zach Kerr and then Daniel Day, 23.485 for Day. And now there's Sebastian Marin, his presence being felt. Braxton DeWeese there as well, but Marin at 23.38. Scioli coming in just a little bit short, 23.41. So that's the front row for the time being, but names are still putting up their timer or times up on the board. And again, only two laps here instead of only 1. See what Garrett Grant can do in 5.
Yeah, Garrett Grant comes across 23.662, so a little down on time. Bryce Sinisak sitting in the pits, just kind of saying, you know what, I won't put in a time yet. Jake Nichols here is just now coming out. Remember, 2 laps across 5 minutes. It doesn't take you long to put in the time. So, I mean, really what you just have to do is get your time in and get it going. And one thing I do want to make sure, we got a lot of end-of-line penalties that are coming up here. We'll get that updated and get you the info here just shortly. But as drivers continue to get ready and get their times out, I mean, kind of make or break for some of them.
Indeed, as Jake Nichols, he doesn't have an EOL, so he'll be clean and free, at least for the time being. That 11 of Philip Groner, currently the 5th quickest time, he does have an EOL, so he'll be looking at a hefty trip to the front, from the back to the front challenge, as Jake Nichols comes through. And he led the most laps here back in Season 6, but got passed late in the going and was only able to settle for 2nd, so looking to change that this time around. He looks to dethrone Sebastian Marin for the pole.
Yeah, and dethrone Sebastian Marin is a tall ask as drivers are still trying to find in times come through. And you can see that banking here at Dover is really interesting, and that concrete run is really, really hard to go through as well. Bryce Sinisak now coming out to put in times. Let's see what can happen here. 90 seconds left to go, and it really becomes just a case of don't mess up. I think that's the best way to explain it when you leave your qualifying lap so late. It's don't mess up, because you want to find time anywhere you can and get the best time possible.
And that's exactly what Michael Venable has done with about a minute remaining in this qualifying session. He's dethroned Sebastian Marin for the pole, 23.374, and mentioned that crunch time guys need to start getting into the right mindset, if you will, to try and make it into the playoffs. And Venable sitting at 22nd in the point standings, doing just that with at least a front row spot for the time being. Last couple of weeks he's been improving his finishes. 11th at Darlington, 12th at Chicagoland, and he qualified 3rd last week there as well. So He's starting to get things going. There's the two of Greg Mitchell looking to get things going as we're in the later part of the regular season.
Yeah, and that later part of the regular season, as we said, it's very, very important at that time to really get it together and either do it right or don't do it at all is honestly how I would explain it as we come through. There's the number 61 of Daniel Day. A good way to always get TV time here at PTR TV is to run the PTR TV logo on the side of your car. So much appreciated there as the 61 dives into the pits. His qualifying is done P16. Looks like 10 seconds left to go here in qualifying. Nobody else is going to really be finding time. John Furness is going to be coming across there in the Halvoline car. No time to be found, and it looks like Greg Mitchell is trying to find one last time, and crossed the line just in time, but was still a little bit slow. So that is our qualifying session done and dusted, and now it's time for the 5-minute, I don't know if I'd call it a warm-up or a cool-down session, but it's a 5-minute session here that the drivers can kind of just use however they please.
Yeah, could discuss strategy with other teams or teammates, or could just take some laps and get some more time on the racetrack and looking through. This will be Michael Venable's first pole of the season. Kind of a shock to say the least. I mentioned it, 22nd in the standings. Best qualifying position was third last week at Chicagoland, and Sebastian Marin, he's really been on his A game, but we'll have to see if he can hold off Marin for 140 laps here at Dover. Also looking at third, it's going to be John Forbes Jr. He's currently on the 6-race streak of top 10 finishes. He finished 9th last week at Chicagoland, but this started all the way back at New Hampshire, where he finished 7th. And after Daytona, really, he started to kick things into gear. 13th at Homestead, then mentioned New Hampshire, Indianapolis, Watkins Glen, Rockingham, Darlington, Chicagoland. Those last 6 tracks he's finished inside the top 10 or better. Best of those coming at Darlington, where he finished just runner-up. Over at the Lady, Too Tough to Tame. Should be a fun race here. I'm not really sure what the strategy is because, like I said, in the past we've gone relatively green, not too many yellows. On the most, it was last season where we had 4 yellows in the race, but had over 100 lap stint to the end for the green flag. So, I'm not sure who to look at in this field as far as a winner. I'm just going to go with Superstitions because he's won here technically twice. Season 5 kind of gets written off because the race was cut short due to the server glitch error. So really he's got 2 wins on the season, but he won last season at this track. I'm going to go with James Skylerly as my pick.
All right. I think James Skylerly is a very good option. I don't want to go with Sebastian Marin. No offense to Sebastian Marin, but that is just me kind of saying I want to go with someone different. You know, something feels good for Casey Lucatis today. I don't know what it is. Something does not feel good for the number 64 in the background there. Don't know if we caught that off the edge of the screen. Ed Robertson. That definitely did not feel good. But, yeah, no, something feels good for Casey Lucatis today. Maybe I'm wrong on that. Maybe I'm right on that. But we'll find out. What is the 39 doing? Hold on. I know this is a warm-up session, but the 39 just did a full donut in the pits.
Maybe practicing for later.
It's probably a safe bet. Of course, the number 39 there of Brady Weileman is one of our drivers that have into lines. There's your list of the long into line penalties there on the bottom as warm-up is ending. And we'll get ready for 140 laps around this Speedway Hunter. And I tell you what, it's time for the PTR TV starting lineup, and let's take them through the first 10 here.
Yep, and as always for area, the starting grid presented by Central Mobile Homes. Looking for a small or large home, a new shed or Triple Crown trailer? Look no further than Central Mobile Homes. They've been proudly serving Florida customers for 29 years with a plethora of small and large home floor plans, shed designs, and Triple Crown trailers. Available in LaBelle, Okeechobee, Clewiston, and Sebring. Head to centralmobilehomesinc.com to get started today. And getting started today on the pole, Michael Venable going to roll off on the pole alongside Sebastian Marin in the front row. Row 2, it'll be Jeff Wright in the 48, Jonathan Evans in the 26, going to roll off alongside him. Justin Bolton, this guy's only made it 5 starts this season. He's finished top 10 or better in every start. Look for him to be a factor. Andrew Payne in the 70, Gonna roll off P6. P7, Alan Fox in the 90. Alongside him, Daniel Day in the 61. Gonna be P8. P9, it's David Weishart in the 29. And shout out Forrest Smith for starting inside the top 10. Best qualifying effort of the season for him.
Make sure that everything's
I'm looking
looking
at
right there, because it looks like something's looking different on my side to yours. So we'll double check that really quick.
Yeah, I did not refresh the timing and scoring page on my end, so
There we go. Okay. Okay.
I completely botched that up.
Let's run it top 10 one more time here. No problem. So drum roll. Here's your top 10.
There we go. All right, Michael Venable in the pole position, Sebastian Marin second. That does not change. John Forbes Jr. third, Jonathan Evans fourth, James Skyley going to roll off fifth, and then Justin Bolin, again, top 10 or better in each of his 5 starts this season. He'll roll off P6. I look for him to be a factor as well. Matthew Batby, the 71 car, going to roll off 7th. Philip Groner 8th. In row 4. Row 5, it's the Nichols, not brothers. Jake Nichols 9th, and Zach Nichols, last week's winner at Chicagoland, going to roll off 10th.
You're telling me the Nichols aren't related, but you know what? We'll go with it. Braxton DeWeese in P11 and Nate Stewart in 12th. Matt Kemp in P13 and Connor Horn in 14th. From there, we're going Alan Fox in 15th place in that number 90 and Daniel Day in 16th. Zach Kerr in P17 and Jimmy Cocker in P18. Justin Anasogak in P19 and Justin Oplinger. The Justins kicking off row 10, 19th and 20th respectively.
21st, it's John Furness in the 28, Jeff Wright in the 48 alongside him for P22. P23, it's the 29 of David Weishart. 24th, it's Andrew Payne in the 70. 25th, Brody Falliker in the number 1, and alongside him, Blaze McKinney in the 87 in 26. 27th, Jeremy Miller. 28th, Reese Schaefer. 29th, Brady Weileman, and 30th, it's Travis Beckner.
Rounding out the back end of our field here, Garrett Grant will start 31st with Francis Hamilton, the Toledo, Ohio native there in the 23, starting 32nd. And then 33rd, Brad Slaughter Jr. with Bryce Sinisak in 34th. Nico Servideo.
Yep.
Servideo, that's an interesting name there. Well, I'll get that right for the rest of the night. 35th, the New York native, and Forrest Smith in 36th. Casey Lakatis in 37th, and Ben Pierce in 38th. Greg Mitchell, Ed Robertson, and Joseph Berg, your 41 cars that will be taking on this Area Pro Series here from Florida Estate Builders. Race details as it goes here. This is where things get fun. 133 laps on Tuesday night, and Hunter, we're doing 140 tonight.
Yep, 140 tonight, and guys will have 4 sets of tires, I believe, including the one that they have on their cars right now, and then 3 attempts at green-white checkers, so I don't think we have never done a green-white checker attempt from this track, at least in the Pro Series. Cup, different story. Trucks, I would say different story as well. Flagman's already on it, ready to get the race going. There's got to be a little bit jittery for Michael Venable in the 77, 22nd in the point standings, but this could be a big night for him if he can hold off Sebastian Marin.
Yeah, coming through the backstretch here, this is going to be the case where I think Venable is going to be feeling good, feeling confident. And I'll tell you from Tuesday night that inside line is deadly on starts and on restarts. They can absolutely take off with not a problem in the world, and nobody can keep up here. That iRacing pace car, that's a Ford Mustang pulling off to the inside. And your top 4, Venable, Marin, Forbes Jr., Evans, 140 laps here at the Florida Estate Builders Area Pro Series. Coming up as we go, Barney has the flag, and Barney is waving the flag. We are underway. I'd say a clean getaway for everyone there. Venable's still trying to chase down Marin. Marin's able to get away with the jump. A couple of battles there in the background is 4th and 5th place of Evans and Batby are battling, but everyone for the most part getting away pretty well there, and they will continue on through lap 2.
Yeah, Venable wasn't able to get the lap led, at least for the initial start. Still have a good portion of the race left in order to at least get a lap in, get that bonus point, but Marin already trying to check out, 3-car length advantage over him, and Gaioli, Evans, Matthew, the top 5. Mentioned that John Forbes Jr. rolled off third, or qualified inside the top 5. He had an EOL, so he is doing the back to the front challenge as well. As long as this race goes relatively clean and green, he should be in a good spot. As I'm trying to find where he is. There he is there, the green number 17 on the outside.
Yeah, lots of battles in the back of the pack as they try to settle it out. The front end of the field has all kind of went into a single file sort of run early, which is what I would expect. We jump back here with the number 28 of Jonathan Furness, who is coming through with the 88 just underneath there of Justin Anasoge. So expecting plenty of battles there as Opplinger and Cocker battling it out here, the 31 and the 55 with the number 48 Pepsi Zero car just behind Jeff Wright running that paint scheme today. Side by side, always an interesting decision at Dover if you can make it stick, but they're going to keep it going as they can as the 55 will drop behind.
Yeah, up on that outside lane trying to generate a run going. We're going to be looking 3 deep here. Cocker in the middle, Jeff Wright on the inside. Opplinger had to get the boot out of the way, really just had to back off just to make the corner, so he'll live to fight another day for that position as Barron's still checking out, about half a second up on the field. That battle with Opplinger, that's right around the 18th position. Zach Kerr taking over 17th for the time being, but he's still giving it to him on the outside. And, well, here's the 77 starting to get dialed in after a rough start.
Yeah, starting to see those gaps close up just a little bit here, and that's going to be very important to see as they come through. So as this front battle continues to find itself and really start to put some pressure, that is going to be where things start to get interesting, I'd say, and we really see the difference come through. So keep an eye on those drivers up front as lap 7 of 140 has went underway here, and the top 2 starting to battle it out really, really hard.
Yeah, Venable applying pressure to the 24, trying to get a little bit closer to do so as trying to get our pylon corrected. Technology is fun nowadays, especially in the big 2025, so trying to get that sorted out, but it's still Marin leading the way, and mentioned that he's been good about everywhere there is. He won, I think, 5 starts last season in the Truck Series, but could not run the playoffs, so he wasn't able to do so. This year he said that it's going to be different. He'll be running the playoffs for sure, so he'll be a threat for this title nonetheless, and Venable just trying to fight his way into the dance. He's close to that top 20 threshold that we mentioned earlier on. Needs a win to get in, and obviously if you look at Talladega, where that's as open as anything anyone can do. Just fight and stay alive to the very end to get a win there, but you get a win here at Dover, it takes the pressure off immensely. As we look a little further back here, this is for the 4th position to the inside. That is Matthew Bappy in the 71 going beneath Evans, having a look. Mentioned Jake Nichols, who led the most laps here a season ago and finished runner-up, and behind him, not brother, Zach Nichols. Shout out Tyler Nichols, Jake Nichols' actual brother. Zach Nichols, the winner last week at Chicagoland, trying to apply pressure to that 73.
Yeah, and as they try to apply pressure here, keep things going, keep things moving, keep things grooving, do as much as you can to try to find a battle. 73-71 side by side. And if you're that 44 here, just sitting on board, I mean, at this point, you're just kind of watching and you're kind of thinking, okay, where do I go? What's my decision here as we get our Whiplash Simcam on board? You have these 2 cars in front of you side by side, and it's always a hard position to find yourself in. And you sort of just watch and let it happen and let it be, because that's about your best decision, is to really just hold on and let it go. So as we follow him through, I mean, the 73 settles it out, and then the 71 here in front, Matthew Bappy, is now putting in some pressure on that 26, trying to go around the high line to get the pass done, which is it's a way to do it. I will say that it is a way to do it. It's maybe not the best way to do it, but it is a way to do it, and very clearly he makes that work. Maybe the high line works better in these cars than it did in the trucks there on Tuesday night. Nate Stewart behind as well there is keeping some pressure on Justin Bolton ahead. Just a few different battles all throughout the field to keep our eyes on, as there are plenty of battles to be found. Back here in the back, it is nose to tail, just absolutely sending it around, trying to just stay essentially within everyone's business and see if we can find a good spot from somebody somewhere.
Yeah, looking at the 88 Advanced Sogak running in the 23rd spot. He won pole a week ago at Chicagoland for the Cup car, so got some momentum heading in the right direction. He wants to stay out of trouble, though, looking to get around Blaze McKinney and the 87 there for the 22nd start, 22nd position. Travis Beckner started all the way back, I believe, deep in 30th, and he's made up quite a few positions up to 24th. Closing in there as, whoa, there goes 87 sideways and saves it. Contact from the 88 of Anasogak. McKinney not going to be happy, but at least he doesn't have a tore-up race.
McKinney saved that hard. I mean, we saw that in live pictures, and he was able to just catch that through. That is the tire fall off, I would say, coming through. We're only 16 laps in, but yes, tire delta is a massive thing around here. And you can lose the tire delta very quick, the tire grip, and you lose that pace. I mean, looking through the times, even our leader is already a second a lap slower than he has been. So when you start seeing those sort of numbers happen, it really mixes things up. And in front of him here, I mean, you've got the 29, the 28, the 31, and the 30 all battling things out through here. Tell you what, 28, 29, 30, 31. I don't know how you can write that one better as they come through. And there's the 27 of Beckner, the 88 of the Anasogak back behind. They're going to keep this battle going here. And Hunter, the thing that you have to think about that I think drivers don't think about is that this is a long race and you need to save tires, and green flag pit stops are not kind to anybody.
Looks like Jimmy Cocker wasn't kind to someone back there. They had a little shuffling going on. I believe that was Beckner in the 27. Not sure if he got into the 31, but he wiggled a little bit, lost a few positions. Going to lose another one to Garrett Grant in the 5. He's going to drop down to 24th, so Grant up to 23rd. And yeah, this is really where the cream of the crop is, or the meat in the sandwich, if you will. The battles that are continuing to go out. Philip Groner in the 11 trying to work his way through the field. Mentioned he had an EOL, so he's also working his way from the back to the front. And I think the best of those, he might be the best of those that had an EOL.
Yeah, it definitely looks like it right now as he's going through, having a good time there. 39 and the 31, Weileman and Cocker now battling things out as they go through, and that's going to open up the door for Sinisak to get a pass done. And I'll tell you what, when one door opens, 27 doors open, and the 87 will just follow under the 31 if it's possible, and it definitely is. So the low line now starting to come in for somebody somewhere. 31 gets through on the high line and is passed very cleanly, continuing around, and we'll just keep things moving. Plenty of battles happening, but the one thing that I have noticed is that 17th place here, David Weishart, that is really where kind of the gap starts for everyone as they go through. So once Weishart hits, he's got 1.3 seconds there to Zach Kerr ahead, and then that kind of starts our next pocket of cars behind as he goes through. Miller and Oplinger battling positions there, and will swap through. They'll continue on single file, though, and kind of let things go. Meanwhile, Sebastian Marin, smooth sailing for your race leader, 2.5 up in front.
23 laps in of 140. Marin about 1.5 seconds over Venable, and mentioned that the lap times are dwindling down, if you will, because of the tire wear. They're about, some guys are even in the 25 seconds, so at least a second of fall off, anywhere between that and 1.5 seconds. Looking through, some shuffling about to occur. Nate Stewart on the outside trying to generate a run around Zach Nichols. Justin Bolton's been up a couple of positions since we last saw him. He's looking to get around Jonathan Evans there for the 6th position. Guys are starting to venture a little bit up on the outside lane, dive in the corner, get a run on the corner exit. And David Weishart was talking about doing that on Tuesday. Just had a little chat with him before this session began, and looks like some of these guys up front are starting to mimic that.
Yeah, they are as they go through, and it's good to see them continue their way around as they go. And, well, this gets things going and moving and grooving, and they will continue to battle things through as they go. Weather, we didn't talk about the weather, but the weather, not that bad, all things considered. 103-degree track temp, 76 air, currently 4 p.m. virtual time with a 15-mile-an-hour wind. I take back my statement. That's a pretty crazy wind. As they go through the hole.
That was Nate Stewart in the 05, getting a little too close for comfort there on Zach Nichols, and got a little sideways there, but nonetheless, they keep it straight, keep it going. The 13 of Braxton DeWeese close right up to the bumper of Stewart, so putting that position up for grabs. And Matt Kemp in the number 51 Taco Bell car, the Daytona winner. Just got to keep it inside the top 20 in points from here on out, and he'll have a shot at the title running in the 11th position. So far, so good there. And Daniel Day keeping it clean in 12th, and Alan Fox as well in 13th.
Yeah, and Alan Fox actually going to try to get a run on Daniel Day here. If he can, he'll try to get a pass through. Everybody kind of settling in to the runs they're in here. And while I say that, well, finally the 4 of Bolton gets around the 26 of Evans. Evans very high up on the line there. And there's a smack of the wall from Zach Nichols there. That's a hard hit into the wall. We'll see if there's any damage there on the side of that car as he comes through. And I don't see anything, but that doesn't always mean anything, to be honest with you. These cars, you smack them the wrong way on the wall, and it's game over.
Even in the sim as well, as far as real life as well. So don't want to do that if you're the 44. Just going to try and take care of it. We're about 30 laps in. Pit stops are going to be interesting because you don't want to pit too early and then get stuck a lap down if your yellow comes out. Don't really know when the right time to pit is, but with tire wear being as big of an issue as it is, we might see some guys pit at around, I want to say like 40, maybe. If you're really that desperate for tire wear, some guys will try to push it to 45 or 50. Fuel's not going to be that much of an issue, but tire wear is, so that might change some things in how this race is run, as the 05 still closing in on the 44 of Zach Nichols. Nate Stewart having a solid showing so far at Dover.
Yeah, having a good time running through for all of the drivers here. I think Dover is just a track that sometimes you can see drivers who maybe aren't the best at this track, or at certain tracks, this style of track, really come up and show off here. As we jump back, this is all the way back into P27. And they're running side by side like they're racing for the lead here. Slaughter going high, and Blaze McKinney running low. Behind them is the number 1 of Brody Falliker as they go. Let's keep it side by side here, keep it moving and grooving again. And the big question on the night, how do you do here once the car starts to tighten up, once things start to get a little interesting and your tire wear really starts to just prove problematic? Well, apparently you could keep it side by side, lap after lap after lap, if you're in a Toyota, because that is exactly what the 8 and the 87 have done. And now that number 17 of John Forbes Jr. is going to run the high line, make it up. Big wiggle there from Blaze McKinney. That's going to open up the door for one car. Does it open up the door for another car? It certainly does, as Brody Falliker will try to look the high line here.
And the number 1 running in the 30th position, trying to work his way around Blaze McKinney. Not a solid night so far for the 87. They're looking to turn things around. Meanwhile, Senesac goes up on Brady Wildman. They're actually swapping positions left and right now. But I mentioned John Forbes Jr. qualified 3rd, had that EOL. Looking back here at Dover a season ago, he finished 3rd as well, but started 9th. So obviously starting up front is going to be, is a big advantage, but having to start from the back and go to the front, it's another task that the 17 has in store. But really solid season so far. He's on that 6-race top 10 streak that's in jeopardy if things don't turn around quick. But he's running 5th in the standings and still winless, looking to probably get a win before this season, the regular season ends. It's going to be tough to do it here, but looking at the schedule over the next couple of races, going to Kansas, Coda, and Talladega. I mentioned that, the great equalizer, but as long as he gets momentum rolling, keep it going, he'll be in a good spot nonetheless come playoff time.
Yeah, he will. And I'll tell you what, I believe the first race of the playoffs, if I'm not mistaken, and my knowledge has not forebode me at this point, isn't it Bristol? Do I remember that correctly?
It is at Bristol.
So we go from Talladega to set the field for playoffs to Bristol for round 1 of the playoffs. That is cruel and unusual punishment for somebody somewhere. I don't know who upset somebody to cause that to be the schedule, but I tell you what, that is a great schedule if I've ever heard one. It's going to be interesting to see how that plays out, because Bristol, even though Bristol's a little tiny short track for what it is, the great Coliseum, all the fun things Bristol is, it's almost as much of a dice roll as Talladega can be, because you get caught up in anything in Bristol, and it's absolutely game over.
Yeah, you don't want to be in a rough spot. The rounds only being 2 races long, so another thing to look at whenever the task is at hand, as the 13 of Braxton Deweese, he lost that top 10 spot to Matt Kemp in the 51, having a solid showing so far. Day still running 12th, Fox still 13th, Jeff Wright, Connor Horn round out the top 15.
Yeah, top 15 all pretty settled in here and comfortable. We continue our green flag run. 40 is now on the charts here. Not a single caution yet. Hopefully I did not just commentate if there's something in the reality, but not a single caution yet as we go for 100 laps left to go in this race. So this is going to be a good, hard push to the end for all of these drivers. Checking in here, P6, Justin Bolton, Matthew Batby, and, well, I didn't know we had a Houdini in the field, but Houdini has appeared and is causing things to get a little interesting here, and that's a problem for Justin Bolton. And I will say that Tuesday night, netcode plagued the field and caused some moments, so you never want to get caught out from netcode from any driver at all, anytime.
Yeah, that's not a fun idea or a fun thing to be around, but the 4 closing in on the 71. We'll have a look to the inside. That's Bolton's going to slide up. We'll try to at least. Bappy going to try and cross him over, but to no avail. So Justin Bolton once again finds himself inside the top 5. And that is where he's finished most of the season. To say that he's 11th in the standings, only 5 races done. 4 of his 5 races inside the top 5, and all 5 inside the top 10. But Braxton DeWeese trying to hold off Daniel Day for the time being. The 13 starting to fade just a little bit. Daniel Day really widening out his arc going through 1 and 2.
Daniel Day taking a very different line there, but it clearly worked for him. So he runs through. He's still behind DeWeese, but he'll try to make a move here. Connor Horn currently trying to hold off Alan Fox just behind and trying to catch up to Jeff Wright just ahead. This is the back of the top 15 as they run and as they continue forward. That's where things are going to get interesting, really, is around that 15th position. And we're lap 43 of 140. We said, what, around lap 60 or so is when we were expecting some sort of green flag stops if we ran green. Is that correct?
Yeah, I believe so. I mean, fuel's not really going to be that much of an issue. These guys, if they want, they can one stop in. No one's made any pit stops yet whatsoever.
It's an amazing thing to see whenever not a single person has made a pit stop, nobody's off the track, and everyone's just absolutely sending it around lap after lap, doing what they can to run through. Michael Venable here in second place, trying to hold on to P2. James Scioli has started to catch up with Jake Nichols there, and P4 also really starting to run through, and then Justin Bolton catching up. But checking in with our race leader, Sebastian Marin, 3.2 seconds to the car behind, and he is starting to just put laps on some of these cars. So Lucky Dog will start to be a factor. As you see back in the back, Bird does not want to be the first car lap down. Gets around Nico Servideo and will move through. Check in here with Reese Schaefer, because Reese Schaefer is trying to make moves in the back of the field, wanting to get into the top 30.
Yeah, Reese Schaefer in the 07, trying to chase down the 09. Bryce Senesac for that 30th position. Just buying time, if you will, and him and his teammate Andrew Payne as well. Just trying to get something going in the right direction. They're looking to crack inside the top 30. It's been a grueling 47 laps for them. I know they're eager to have a yellow come out and pit and get some freshies on their machines, as Justin Bolton's closed up to the bumper of Jake Nichols. 4th, 5th, 6th, close in nose and tail. 71 still trying to find a way around that the 4 again, but he has got better sights in front of him, trying to get around Jake Nichols. He'll have a dive to the inside in turn 1 to try and slide up and close the deal.
And that he does there. The 73 not able to fight. Maybe going to look for a little bit of a switch back there and try to drop low. Not able to get the move done. Is going to hold on behind them. Jonathan Evans there, I believe, is who we saw there. Actually, it might have been Zach Nichols with Jake Stewart that just was trying to get the pass through and did a great job. And they're together. They're together. Somebody's not happy about something. Nichols and Stewart there with some hard racing. And the 44 of Zach Nichols to the inside of the 05. They get a bump. That's going to open up the door. Matt Kemp, I don't know if I'd get near them if I was you.
Yeah, these two have been going at it for a good portion of the race. They had a moment off turn 4 a handful of laps ago. Nate Stewart really trying to hold on to this. Zach Nichols as well. Don't want to do that. Don't want to be doing right-hand turns on the straightaway. That'd be a little too risky, but they're still going at it. They've lost a couple spots now. Matt Kemp just trying to drive away from it all. They're still, oh my gosh, this might be our first yellow of the night.
they are almost trying to wreck each other at this point. Look at this. The 5 is going to slide up. 44 doors them hard, sends them into the marbles off of 4, and now they come through, and behind them, Daniel Day, Braxton Reese, and there's your wreck.
Oh, and that's the worst thing that you can do, because now it's created a pileup heading into turn 1 with innocent drivers caught up in it that had no business being a part of it whatsoever. And Connor Horn was a part of that, Daniel Day as well. I mean, it's been brewing over the last 20 laps or so, but those last few, it really was popping off. Braxton DeWeese, guys that were just, they're minding their P's and Q's, and they just got caught up in someone else's business. And Connor Horn, not too happy about that as well. Very disappointing end to the night for him. We'll take a look at our replay, and I mean, called it a couple laps before it happened. You don't want to right hook someone on the front stretch. And I mean, 44 did kind of get pinched up near the outside wall, but you do have an option to lift, and he chose not to and chose to turn down, and just nowhere to go for everyone on the inside.
I mean, so many good cars taken out in that from just, I mean, frustration at that point. I don't even know what else to call it other than just, I literally don't know what to call it here. We'll go from the blimp shot here. And, I mean, they were doing this lap after lap, and, I mean, I'm not going to say anything. But so many good cars taken out there. The 13, Braxton DeWeese, who else was in that? The 61, the 44, the 57. The 31 had to dive down pit lane to avoid that. The 18 was in pit lane. Oh, they were possibly starting green flag stops, actually, as they were going through. So, I mean, yeah, I don't have a lot to say about that.
That's a rough one in the admin tower that they'll have to digest, but that is the first yellow of the night. Some guys did make pit stops before that incident occurred. Weishart, Cocker, and Servideo, at least from what I'm seeing, were the 3 that made their stops right when that yellow came out. So I think they're all caught a lap down, so they'll have to take wave around. But yeah, that is Dover in a nutshell. But it's really mind-boggling to me to kind of put yourself in that situation if you're Zach Nichols. Again, you won last week at Chicagoland, and now you're looking at, I wouldn't go as far as a possible suspension, but maybe a points penalty could be. Because, I mean, it's not like this just happened out of the blue. I mean, this has been going on lap after lap, and then you got 4 or 5 innocent drivers caught up in that. Nate Stewart as well. It's not been a good season for him. Only 1 top 5. And it was the only top 10 as well. That was at Watkins Glen. So, nonetheless, cooler heads did not prevail. Such a shame to see Daniel Day get caught up in that. I mean, he was close to the top 10 as well, so still had some time to salvage a possible good finish, but with the damage, not going to be good for him. Looking through, I think Michael Venable won the race off pit road.
Yeah, he did. Michael Venable also on the outside there to Sebastian Marin on the inside. So this will be an interesting one to see how these two play it out as they come down the backstretch with 1 to green. And I will tell you right now, the only thing I can hear in my head right now is I need the driver, the spotter, and the crew chief to the hauler post-race for all teams involved. And we'll leave that there at that. So this is going to be an interesting one. Let's see if Sebastian Marin can keep his lead on this restart and see where he can find things as they come around here. Barney will have the green flag. And, well, caution number 1 gave everyone fresh tires on lap 54. What's it going to prove? How many more laps will we go for the next set of greens? Green flag in the air. We're underway here. Sebastian Marin already taking off on Michael Venable.
Yeah, Marin got a great jump there on that outside lane, and 77 really nowhere to go. So still holding on to second, but he's got company with Scioli in third, Jake Nichols in fourth. Bolton still holding on to that 5th spot, but we saw him navigate his way through the chaos before it happened, but Matt Kennedy all of a sudden in a good spot. Oh, Reckon coming off 4. Scratch that. Yellow back out. Garrett Grant involved in the 5. There's a number of cars in it. I think Ed Robertson might be a part of it. But, yeah, scratch that thought. I'll have to take a look at a replay and see what brought out the second yellow of the night.
Cautions breed cautions. That's about all I can tell you at this point. So, if we go back here just a bit. So, this is where that's at. So it's the 5 just kind of getting loose on his own, and it sort of started to collect everyone else up into it. So that is where that caution came from, and unfortunately for the 5, that is going to be just kind of where he finds himself.
Indeed, as we take a look at another replay tonight, and we've seen a couple of looks at how these wrecks have taken place from our replay sponsor, Hendry County Motorsports Park. Racing is back at the Hendry County Motorsports Park. Join us this Saturday, May 17th, to see cruiser street stocks, open wheel modifieds, and more. Tickets are $20 for adults, and kids ages 5 and under are free. Why not bring the family to the track with a family pack of 4 starting at $25? Come see racing at the southernmost dirt track in America, located in Clewiston, Florida, off U.S. Highway 27. Visit HendryRacing.com for more info, and we've got a couple of cars with the Hendry County Motorsports Park plastered, being the 29 of David Weishart and the 27 of Travis Beckner, who is the flagman for the racetrack. And trying to see where Beckner's at. It's up to 18th so far, and David Weishart in the 29, looking for him 35th. He was one of the few that were stuck a lap down. I think he actually got the not the EOL. He got the lucky dog from that most recent yellow, so things might be on the right track for that 29.
Yeah, 29 definitely being where he wants to be here as we wait for the cameras to decide that they want to show the race leader here. Currently, they really like that number 5 and the 23 in pit lane, and they are just wanting to show them off here at the moment. So we'll get the live picture going here of Sebastian Marin, your race leader, coming around. And again, Michael Venable showing up there in front, but not actually in front. How many laps have been led by the number 24? Well, he's led 57 to 58 laps. So at this moment, the perfect race, as one Mr. Corey Silva calls it, the perfect race prevails. And we'll see if he's able to keep that going here on the night. As they come around, I believe this will be the 1 to green call. Several cars in the pits trying to get some damage repaired. And Justin Anasogak up into 9th place currently. So in a great position for him as he goes and continues to try to fight his way forward. James Scioli in 4th place. Lots of drivers have moved their way up the field. I think some of that is cautions helping out. Some of that is just pure patience and picking off cars one at a time as they go.
Yeah, I was about to say, with Matt Kemp, he already had good pace in his 51, but he navigated himself through the minefield that was the 44 of Zach Nichols and the 05 of Nate Stewart before that happened, and was able to get out just in time. Because if he didn't, he probably would have been caught up in that wreck. So after the pit stops, he worked his way up to 7th, where he currently finds himself coming up to this restart here. Is the 4th car on the inside lane, but it's all Sebastian Marin so far. He's going to control the field. Pace car pulls in, and we'll get back going here with Venable on the outside. Going to try and time it. Restart zone right in the exit of turn 4. Proves to be a challenge for those on the outside lane, and Marin gets fired off, and we're back green from the monster.
Back green from the Monster Mile. I think Miles has been hungry tonight. Definitely not trying to eat a car tomorrow, but trying to eat the Pro Series cars today. As we come out of 2, side by side they go. Where they stop, nobody knows. But around the outside, we'll try to go Philip Groner there. The number 11 on the number 12 is the 90 is sliding. Alan Fox, and we're wrecking.
Oh, Travis Beckner's caught up in that. He hits the inside wall. Fox back to the inside wall. Yellow back out again on lap 61. Oh, unfortunate for Beckner to be caught up in that. And Alan Fox as well having a solid showing inside the top 10. But take a look at our Hendry County Motorsports Park replay and see what exactly brought this yellow out and how Travis Beckner was caught up in the carnage.
Yeah, and we'll go here. Top-down perspective, I think, will be the best way to look at this here as we go. And contact with the 11 of Philip Groner? Was that net code? One more good angle of it here. And I tell you what, here's going to be your definitive answer. Let's go in for a super slow-mo. And as we come in, well, there's your answer. See the fender move before he starts spinning, and I could park an 18-wheeler between them right there. So I think the Dover curse has struck again.
Must be a tiny 18-wheeler then.
It just depends. But
Like a toy car 18-wheeler.
yeah, exactly. Come on now. You never played with a toy car 18-wheeler when you were a kid? I mean, I thought everyone did.
Not an 18-wheeler, no. I mostly played with the little Matchbox cars and then the NASCAR diecast as well. Never 18-wheeler, but another yellow back out, the third one at Dover, and the most we've ever had in the race was back a season ago where we had 4, and we had a 100-plus lap green flag run to the end, which we're obviously not going to get that here, being that we're less than 80 to go, but still, guys just trying to find themselves in the right place. Looking through this top 5, they really found themselves in the good spot. Bolton dropped down to 6th, Kemp still 7th, Anasogak 8th. Throughout the carnage, mentioned a while back, Blaze McKinney was fighting to stay inside the top 30. He's all the way up in 10th now after everything that's gone on over the last 20-plus laps.
Hey, that's a good place to find yourself up into 10th if you're running through. I mean, keep your nose clean. That's always my goal when I'm racing, is keep my nose clean and just find myself in a good position. You don't always have to be the fastest on the track. Sometimes you just got to be the luckiest, and clearly Blaze McKinney doing a great job of showing that. Some other drivers that have caught my eye that have worked their way up the field: Brad Slaughter Jr., Bryce Sinisak, Brady Weileman is up 12 places. Up 17 places is Casey Lakatis. And then some other drivers up and down through the field on the day. But we'll see how things go here, as Sebastian Marin will have control of the field on the restart. And I have a feeling Sebastian Marin will do that Sebastian Marin thing.
Pretty safe bet to have, especially restarting as the leader on the inside lane. See what the rest of the field has in store for him, as pace car is going to make the dive down the pit road once again. Venable try and generate strong enough restart on the outside. It's always in a tough spot on that exit of turn 4 as they pass through. The green flag's waving from Dover, and we're back racing from the Monster Mile.
Yeah, and back racing underway, and Sebastian Marin doing Sebastian Marin things, taking off there. And now it is Venable going side by side with James Scioli as they go through the 7, the 77. 777, of course, is Lucky, but Lucky Ducks maybe not getting lucky on the outside with 609 Motorsports, 7 and 73. Both very, very hungry back behind. They might take it 3 wide here up in the front as they go. They don't, but behind them, Blaze McKinney, Zach Kerr. We've got a lot of good battles going all the way through this field as they come around lap 65 of 140. We're near the halfway point of this race.
Ever so slightly again there as they're fanning out 2, 3. Thought I saw 4 wide, could be mistaken, but guys getting a little bit squirrely coming out of the corner as Brad Slaughter's holding that 15th spot, but behind him it's Matthew Vappy holding 16th, 17th, swerving there in the back. I believe that was Brody Falker in the 1. Bryce Sinisak in the 09. Oh, we're wrecking! Far in the wall, that was Jake Nichols, was it not? No, it was Jeremy Miller in the 30. The 609 cars are all clean and green except for the 30 now. Not really sure what happened there, but a hard hit to the 30 and it's dropping like a rock.
Yeah, and we'll see if we can get a very quick replay of how that one happened, because that was a very, very scary moment there for Jeremy Miller. Let's see here. There's a replay going. What happens is he goes through, and there's your answer. Just a hard sideways slide. Couldn't get it back going, but somehow kept it together.
Not the moment I was looking at. I was looking at turn 2. He pancaked the wall coming out of turn 2. Not really sure what happened, but he's had a lot to deal with over the last few laps.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there myself, but he has somehow managed to get it back together and keep it going. So kudos to him as we watch him now try to battle it out here in the background. Near the back of the pack, just trying to keep things going and moving and grooving while he can and keep things together. Up in the front, Sebastian Marin and Michael Venable trying to battle it out and find positions where they can.
Yeah, 20 24 still leading the 77, close nose and tail pursuit. It's the 30 of Jeremy Miller still trying to hang on to things. I'm really kind of baffled as to what happened there. He was running close towards the top 10 after everything that's happened since lap 40, around lap 40 when the first yellow came out. But very weird incident to say the least. He's still buying his time. Nate Stewart, the 05, is back on the racetrack. And a little update from the admins as far as incident points for yellows. The most recent two were listed as netco, but the first one involving Nate Stewart and Zach Nichols. Zach Nichols +2 incident points to him, +1 to the 05 of Nate Stewart. Stewart back out on track. He is multiple laps down. 9 laps down in the field. Ticker back up. 24 still leading. Venable still in second, and fourth has changed hands now. Jonathan Evans got around Jake Nichols for that position, and they've got a company because it's Justin Bolton again. Didn't get going on the restart, but when that car is up to race pace, he is one to be messed with because he's trying to get back inside the top 5.
You say that again. He's fast. I mean, all of these drivers in the Pro Series are fast, and they are quick in these Xfinity cars. But man, some of these drivers really impressed me with their pace as they go through. Bolton here trying to take a dive to the inside of Nichols, just trying to find a little bit of a move where he can, while he can. Not able to get through there, but still looking pretty doggone good, I'd say, as he tries to get through that 51 of Matt Kemp back behind. Liv Moss, of course, coming through. I had a really good order of nacho fries for lunch today, I have to say. So Taco Bell very much on the mind as we come through. Look at this just line of cars coming through. All of this from third place back through P10 as they come around. I mean, absolutely trying to just find their time, find the battles, and keep things as aggressive as they can. That 4 still trying to put the pressure on Justin Bolton, trying to put the pressure on Jake Nichols, and he's just looking for one moment. That's the thing, is it's just one moment that you have to look for. Also, Ed Slaughter, get out of YouTube chat while you're driving.
Hey, you don't want to do two things at once. That's not good, but we've crossed through the halfway part of this race, and would like to thank everyone that's tuned in to the Area iRacing Twitch channel. Race fans, be sure to subscribe to the Area iRacing Twitch channel to catch area truck races on Tuesday and area Pro Series races on Thursdays this season. You can use custom Area iRacing emotes in the chat while earning double channel points as a subscriber to redeem for free merchandise, all at just $5 a month. And add some life to the party this summer with Elite Entertainment, located in Boiling Springs, South Carolina. Elite Entertainment provides high-quality band production to entertain at any location, including karaoke, singo, which is music bingo, and more. Visit Linktree/Elite Entertainment LLC for all contact info, and listen to episode 228 of the High Banks podcast with Jacob Bell. It's just two blue collar guys with Nick and Alex talking about NASCAR and more. It's available on Spotify as we're closing in on lap 80 here. Less than 65 laps to go here at Dover, Delaware. It's Sebastian Marin leading the way through in a dominating effort so far. Venable holding strong in second. Scioli Nichols got around Jonathan Evans for fourth, and Justin Bolton back inside the top 5 in the number 4.
And as we watch that number 4 get back up into 5th place, battles continue along here down the backstretch, and that 4 closing up to Jake Nichols and James Scioli as they go. That 4 is fast. Doggone me, he's fast as he goes through. He's trying to find that pace. He's trying to find that run. And he's doing a great job of it, I have to say, as he goes through down into 1 and 2. He's going to look here, and he is looking really good. But 3 and 4 is really where I tend to see him have the best runs. The 87 there is trying to keep things together against the number 11 of Philip Groner. This is the battle for P9 as Philip Groner goes here, diving to the inside, has a look, has a peek, just kind of opens the door a little bit and says, hey, I could fit a car right here. So we'll see what happens as they go through and around as Groner continues to try to battle it out. Battles all the way through the field. Plenty of action to look up, down, left, and right. Andrew Payne here in the number 70 trying to pass Casey Lakatis going through. Weishart is now passing Slaughter here. So this 4-car battle all the way back from P16 continuing to produce action.
Yeah, that 16th spot just swapped between the 8 and the 29. So Weishart on the come up, Slaughter on the coming down, trying to defend from the 07 of Reese Schaefer and the 09 of Bryce Senesac behind. Trying to buy time throughout the field. Still some side-by-side action throughout the back part there outside the top 20. Weishart trying to close in on the 1 of Brody Falker running 15th, and there is the side-by-side. Haven't heard too much from John Forbes Jr. today. He qualified up front well, but had the EOL, so been a slow climb through the field. I believe he's inside the top 20 now. He's got a top 10 streak of 6 races that's in jeopardy here if he cannot get inside the top 10 before this one's said and done. Trying to hold off the 28 of John Furness while also trying to reel in the 09 of Bryce Senesac, and yes, he is in the top 20 now, but for how much longer? John Furness to the inside trying to take away that spot.
Beautiful battles here from these drivers as they go and as they come through. I mean, trying to get that pass done, the 28 to 17 there going through. I mean, a great job, I have to say, from them as they go. Of course, the 28 running back, trying to run through, and actually, where is the 28? Because all of a sudden, I cannot find the 28 to really get a good shot of him as he goes through. But never mind, him and the 9 continuing through, and Blaze McKinney.
Yellow out.
Looks like something's happened with Blaze McKinney and possibly Forrest Smith as we try to find what was happening. There's Forrest Smith, done and dusted. Blaze McKinney through. So another yellow. Let's see what caused this one.
Travis Beckner in the 27, getting in just a little bit too hot into the 15 of Forrest Smith, and holy cannoli, those guys avoided it mighty fine. Not sure what happened to Blaze McKinney, but Forrest Smith caught up in that carnage. That's our 4th yellow of the night. Comes at an interesting time to where guys are probably going to make their final pit stops of the race, as 87 kind of just disappeared.
Yeah. 87 just absolutely said, you know what, guys, I'm done with this race. I'll see you later. One more replay here of the moment between the 27 and 15. And 15 runs up into the wall, and that is all she wrote for the 15. Lots of cars in the pits. No surprise, we're lap 86 of 140, and everybody and their best friend has decided that a pit stop is much needed right now.
Yeah, just a smidge over 50 laps to go. Guys are, again, in their what's presumed to be their final pit stops of the race, unless we keep getting yellows. Not sure if anyone would try to do 2 tires. There's still too much time left in the race to do so, but we'll see. Coming out of pit road, Marin beats off the 77 of Michael Venable. Gaioli comes out 3rd, the 73 of Nichols 4th, and 5th place is the 4 of Justin Bolton.
Yeah, so that runoff pit road, all important, but it does kind of just leave the field where it was at before, as 87 of 140 is now here. And you got to wonder, 50 laps to go when they go back to green in theory. So what will be kind of the strategy call from drivers? What will be the thought from drivers of what they should do, what they shouldn't do? Really don't have a good answer on that one, to be honest with you, because everyone is going to think to do something different. It's going to be an interesting one, but I think that they'll figure it out as it goes. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Furness and Stewart, of course, still out. They are laps down. Furness is 5 laps down, or 7 laps down, and Stewart is 8 laps down. So they stay out. They get the wave around, and now for Marin and Venable, it's the position they've been in several times through this race, 1st and 2nd, respectively.
Yeah, really been the class of the field tonight. The 24 dominating as always. The 77 of Venable gave it to him early with the pole. Didn't quite get the first lap sled, and that's kind of what's put Venable in a tough spot here, because restarting as the leader, you get control of which lane you want to restart the race from, and it's preferred to start on the restart on the inside at Dover. And that's because the outside lane just can't quite get going. They can't get a proper launch with where the restart zone is on the exit of turn 4. But I feel like if we get a good stint to the finish, like if we go green from here on out, 7 and the 73 might have something for the front 2. They've been close to getting around the 77. It just depends on the first couple of laps after the restart, which we'll see here. How long it may be, up to them to decide as the field is back green, racing from Dover.
And as we get back underway here, we watch side-by-side Scioli and Venable. They're going to have to sort it out pretty quick because that's 73 of Jake Nichols and that 4 of Justin Bolton, all looking very fast back behind. Side-by-side action all through the field as they try to sort it out, and for the first time, Venable has lost positions there to Scioli. The Venable might swap it back up the inside out of 4 and is able to get himself back up into second position, but can he hold it is the million-dollar question. It certainly looks so at the moment, and back in the background, still plenty of 2-wide, 3-wide action all throughout the field.
Yeah, Scioli got loose in the middle of 3 and 4, and that's what caused him to lose that second spot. Got a good restart, but couldn't quite complete the pass as throughout the field, Slaughter trying to hold off the machine there. Oh, that's Brady Wildman in the 39 going to go low. Opplinger in the 55 going high. This is 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th, and the 07 to reach Schiffer, 18th, and 09 behind him. They're still door-to-door. That's John Forbes Jr. He's inside the top 20, trying to get closer to that top 10.
Yeah, checking back up front here, the 26 and the 51, Evans and Matt Kemp. Look at that, bumping down the front stretch. That opens up the door for the 48. Now as they go through, who will sort that one out? Well, the 51 is going to lose a little bit of a run. He's going to try to run up there. He's going to squeeze with the 48, and then the 48 and the 51 are going to keep it side by side, going through 3, going through 4, and the 51 does lose it out. The 48 will be to the outside of that 26 now as they come through towards the line, and do they get the pass done? Well, it certainly looks like it as he comes through. 48 will clear Jeff Wright into P7 now. Jonathan Evans 6th, and the 11 of Philip Groner trying to get past the 51 top of that car. Plenty of battles happening all through the field yet again. Jake Nichols keeping pressure on his teammate James Scioli as they go through. Matt Kemp trying to get around Philip Groner again. To the outside they go, and that is, again, sometimes the outside line just works here around Dover, it seems, for certain drivers.
Yeah, Kemp trying to stop the bleeding as the yellow comes out once again on lap 94. As to where that yellow happened, we're trying to determine that right now, but we've seen the 64 of Ed Robertson with damage and smoke coming out of his car, so we've got 5 yellows on the night. That's the most for a race here in the Pro Series at Dover. We'll take a replay of how it happened. To the outside, Daniel Day in the 61, and to the inside, a sliding 64 of Ed Robertson, just losing it coming off turn 4.
Yeah, and as he was coming off a turn 4 there, I mean, we'll look. So he's sliding at this point, can't catch it, and hard hitting to the side. And thankfully, stops right in the middle of the straightaway, so nobody hits him there. And he is able to just hang on, get it back going, has a good moment there, and, well, I believe that will be the race for the 64 over. Is anyone going to pit this time by? I don't believe so, because they've only been out for 8 laps, but you never know. Somebody could try to mix a strategy up and try to get some track position, but I don't think anyone is going to take me up on that, at least, which they're probably a good decision to not listen to me. So, Brad Slaughter, if you're listening to the broadcast, don't listen to what I say. Do not try to do some sort of mixed up pit strategy, and you didn't. Good job.
A few takers behind that chose to come down pit road. The 30 of Jeremy Miller, the 39 Brady Walleman, John Furness, Nate Stewart as well. Although Stewart multiple laps down out of contention. Garrett Grant in the 5 was caught up in a wreck earlier tonight. Number 23 car there as well coming through. So some guys choosing to pit might be their only option at trying to salvage any sort of good finish for them. Track position could be very crucial at the end, but it's still Sebastian Marin leading the way from Dover.
Yeah, I mean, if your lap's down or you have damage, it's probably a good idea to go ahead and pit. Let your crew try to, knock out a fender a little bit. Let them try to do a little bit of a repair job here in iRacing to keep your car going, keep your car continuing, because that can be very, very important to see as they go around, continue to battle their way through. This is going to be a good little shootout to the end, lap 96 of 140. And, at this point, I think some drivers are going to start to really pull the gloves off. Marin just needs to be consistent, needs to be smooth, right? So Sebastian Marin, I would argue it's his race to lose. Everyone else at this point, just needs to really really settle in and give a good hard run. They need to capitalize on this restart as much as they can. And really, for Michael Venable, he needs to be ahead of Marin, but Marin has had such good jump on the restarts. I don't know if he's going to be able to at this point.
Well, it's going to be a challenge, to say the least, for anyone to try to get around the 24 Sebastian Marin. But I said it, the 7 to 73, if they could get a good restart, those first couple of laps, they might have something, at least for Sebastian Marin. Skyler tried to get around Michael Venable. It seemed like he had it. Didn't get loose in 3 and 4. Would have been restarting second on that outside lane and would have painted a different picture here. But we're closing in with 40 to go. Marin's still the leader on the inside, Venable on the outside. And will they make it to the finish, or will we get another yellow before then?
Only one way to find out here as we go live for this race here on PTR TV. Going to the green, lap 98. Tell you what, let's bring some temporarily loud engines in. Enjoy this restart. All right, so that was some temporarily loud engines to enjoy a Dover restart, because why wouldn't you enjoy a Dover restart with some temporarily loud engines? 71-51 battling it out. The 77 of Venable went under pressure there pretty quick, but with 40 laps to go, he's been able to get back in second place. And I would argue that this is probably the best run he's had in a hot minute in second place, and the closest he's been to Sebastian Marin in a minute of laps here. As we watch here, Hunter, I think he might be in a really good position. He can stay consistent, but I don't know. I don't know. It's hard to say that you can take on Sebastian Marin.
Yeah, he's looking the best to finish this season of second at Homestead all the way back to race 2 of the season. So been a while since he's finished inside the top 10. They're still slamming the wall back there. I think I was Slaughter in the 8. Not sure if he had help. But over the last couple of laps, they've been getting a little too close to that outside wall. And a couple of juniors up here. Brad Slaughter Jr., John Forbes Jr. running inside the top 15. Again, Forbes Jr., 6-race top 10 streak in jeopardy if he can't get inside the top 10 within the next 35-plus laps at Dover. But it's been a tough climb for him. He's at an EOL after qualifying third, but slowly but surely he's been working his way closer towards that top 10.
Yeah, and top 10, I mean, that's a pretty good goal to make. You just have to be smooth, you have to be consistent, and doing a good job of all of those things. As we jump back here, this is really where things are getting crazy. Just outside the top 15, these guys are racing like their life depends on it. Look at this 2x2x2x2 as the pink number 61 of Daniel Day manages to tap the wall there on the exit of 4, keeping things going. You have to coax this car a little bit and make sure it stays together as we go 2x2x2x2x2 and bring things through. 61 there to the inside of the 39. The 27 trying to hold things together against the 09 as they come through, and they hold that double wide yet again, and now they might settle it in while they have a moment as Matt Kemp here in the 51 is battling Zach Kerr and also David Weishart in the 12.
Yeah, Kemp loose coming off too, trying to stay inside the top 10. Kerr trying to fight his way inside the top 10, and Weishart just trying to stay out of trouble. It's really been a rough stretch for the 29 car as of late, but having a very solid showing so far, running in the 12th position.
Keeping things going, moving, grooving here, doing a good job of going through. Everybody kind of trying to stick around where they can and do what they can. Bryce Senesac and Travis Beckner here, Bryce Senesac and Daniel Day actually battling it out with Casey Lakatos there behind, trying to keep some pressure, as that is the 28 of John Furness way down low.
Not sure what happened to him, but he's multiple laps down. Actually, you know what? He was caught up in that carnage on lap 44, so could be still some of the side effects from that. But slow on the racetrack into the inside. He is fighting that race car, to say the least, as Connor Horn runs in the 16th position. Behind them, though, in 18th, it's the 88 of Anna Sogak, the 07 of Reese Schaefer in 19th, and 20th is Justin Opplinger in the 55, trying to buy time and possibly make a move on the 07, but to no avail. Still single file for the time being.
Yeah, and as we watch their battle kind of continue through, that will go and kind of fluctuate. Check it back up front, though, with our race leader. Sebastian Marin there will be just on the front edge of your screen, about 0.8 of a second up there on Michael Venable as they go through. Jake Nichols in third. Very hungry, very feisty, really trying to get the battle going on everyone as he is going to go through, and you can see Sebastian Marin just there to the front. He's going to go down the inside, try to get a pass done, not able to, and we'll settle back in again here in third. And you can see the banking on Dover. Just watch the wheel there down on the bottom left, just kind of doing what he can, fighting it a little bit here and there, but still going to be trying to get that car moving and grooving. Down to the inside hard we go, and is this the run? It's not yet.
No, he's trying to get it on the inside, but really nothing much you can do. As far as clean air is concerned, guys mostly diamonding through 1 and 2, 3 and 4 as well, so you've got a line that they were holding through. Outside lane definitely the one to be used, especially on this new configuration of Dover. Updated a few weeks back, not only just graphically, but with the racetrack itself as well. The longer the race has gone on, the higher and higher these cars have gotten, but some of them are still sticking to the low side, that being the 7 of Scioli, the 4 of Justin Bolton running inside the top 5, but Bolton trying to go to the 4th position, which 3 of his 4 finishes inside the top 5 have come from 4th place. So looking to keep that going as, someone smacked the wall back there pretty good. It was a red car, but the 4 still taking it to the inside of Scioli.
Yeah, trying to tell who smacked the wall there. It's hard to tell, but nevertheless, that 4 still trying to take on James Scioli here. Back in the background, the 1 and the 29, David Weishart and Brody Falliker. Look at this going side by side as they come through out of 4 and keep it together. And there's a little wall tap from the 29 of Weishart. That might open up the door for John Forbes Jr. as he goes through that ocean cleanup number 17. Will look to go low, and may be able to get the pass done here. Forbes clears himself up in front of the 39.
Indeed, as David Weishart, best finish of 19th this season at Watkins Glen, trying to just stay in the fight and just trying to stay out of harm's way, really, with less than 30 to go from Dover. Will be 25 next time by. Team's trying to get around the 88 or keep the 88 from getting around him. That being so that the 17 of John Forbes Jr. still closing in on that top 10, trying to do so, but the 88 and the 39 putting up a fight to the inside.
Yeah, as they come here off of 24, lap 116 now on the board as down the inside goes Brady Welleman going through. On the outside is John Forbes Jr. trying to just get that pass through while they can. Up front, things are starting to get interesting. 39 taps the 17 there right as I was about to click away from these two. So there's another little bit of a tap going around. And, well, we know that tensions can be high here in the Pro Series, apparently, and guys can get a little bit interesting here and there. And hopefully we're not seeing round 2 of what was round 1 earlier. Check it back up front, that 4 of Justin Bolton continuing to try to apply pressure, and these 3 just aren't going to leave each other alone. Doggone, I want to cut the camera away, but these 3 just are not done with their battle.
I think Forbes is ready to cut it clean and cut loose with everybody because he is, again, man on a mission, trying to keep that top 10 streak alive, and 39 trying to follow in his tire tracks. Meanwhile, Forbes will look to the inside of Brody Falliker to no avail there. He'll have to settle in line. The 57 of Connor Horn slowly but surely creeping his way back into the top 15 picture, running in that 16th position, and Forbes settling in nicely there as there's the 57. He's gone around David Weishart for 16th on the track. Weishart down in 17th now, having a look to the inside before getting closed out on that outside lane. And Well, we had a look at the one to the inside of Zach Kerr. We'll have a good look at it here from the in-car of David Weishart.
Side by side coming through. The one still trying to look for a pass going through. There's a lot of back and forth passes that are happening here as we hit the 20 to go mark, and I always find that interesting. It's sort of a Dover specific situation. It seems like anytime someone passes, you just pass them right back. You don't really end up in that much of a problem here. Staliker still trying to get past that number 12 of Zach Kerr as they go through, around, down. 20 laps to go officially on the timing as the 17 is going to now bring his way through. John Forbes Jr. said, you know what? I don't have time to sit here. I have a top 15 to get into, so if you don't mind, guys, I'm also chasing the top 10. So let me just get a 2-for-1 special here. The one with the 12 up on the high line, 17 to the low line. 12 is going to diamond it out to the bend, and the 17 clears himself back into line.
Yeah, he's running out of time to keep that top 10 streak alive. It might come to a close here today at Dover, but trying to keep the 39 at bay. Seemed like he had something going on that outside lane and just couldn't quite find his way around Falker and Kerr there, so we'll just settle in line in 14th. Wileman trying to hold off Connor Horn for 15th, as up front, the 73 and the 7, a couple of 609 teammates trying to defend each other from getting in front of one another, but Skyley in front of the 73 now for that podium position. And again, Justin Bolton still close to the coattails of the 73 of Jake Nichols, but behind him, the 26 of Jonathan Evans has been dialed in the last 10 laps or so. He's been close to his bumper as well, trying to enter the top 5.
I think Justin Bolton could be on for a podium here. I think he could be on for a top 3 if he does things right. And here we go. This is where the run starts. 17 to go. You got no time to sit behind. He's going to look up the inside here of Jake Nichols. And can he clear this pass? Well, he's going to clear him mid-corner. Can he hold on to it on corner exit? Well, he's going to bring it through. And don't let me speak too soon as he comes around down into 1 and 2. He's going to have to fight a little bit more to clear it. And still trying to look for this pass to clear through, and there we go. He clears him off at 2, so it took him a whole lap to get it done, but he's got it done, and now he's up into 4th place. Now he's got to set his sights on the teammate of the number 7 of James Scioli to get up into P3.
The 4 car of Justin Bolton running in 4th, looking for his 4th finish of 4th place exact this season in his 6th Pro Series start. Having a solid showing so far. A lot of 4s there for that Bolton machine as he's looking to close and make it a 3 for his finishing position. Trying to close in on Scioli as, again, Marin's just been checked out. A 1.2 second gap. 1.4 now as they cross the stripe. Contact off the wall. That was Bappy, I believe. No?
I think it was there, the 71.
No, it was might have been Matt Kemp. It was right around with Justin Sogak. It was the 51. He bounced it off the turn 4 wall. He's trying to enter the top 10 again. 18th in the point standings, trying to stay inside the top 20 with that win at Daytona to remain playoff eligible. But got to keep the car in one piece if you want to do that.
And you saw him have to fight to catch the car there through 3 and 4. So he's driving this car hard, and the tires are probably not there for him to drive the car that hard. Meanwhile, behind him, 57 to 39, Brady Wildman and Connor Horn battling it out here, keeping a hard fight going. This battle, of course, for the last of the top 15 places. Switch back, switch through, switch around. What can you do when the 57 goes around hard into the wall, comes back, hold the brakes, hold the brakes, hold the brakes. And caution is out with 12. No, the 70 hits him.
Well, that changes everything. So guys are going to be making their final pit stops of the race if they have tires left. Take a look at a replay to see how this caution came out with 12 to go.
Yeah, and we'll go back here as we get this replay queued up, the Hendry County replay. Well, let's go from the blimp in here. So 57 was coming around with the 39, looking good, and, well, comes through, and I don't see anything. He bounces off the wall down into the 39, and, well, that sends it through. And then where did the 70 come in on this for Andrew Payne? Looks like that was a
Jimmy Cocker.
separate incident with the, yeah. See if we can
Jimmy Cocker in the 31. Not sure what happened there. Maybe just checking up for the wreck that took place. And I can't believe we haven't talked about it all race, but these straightaways are tough. And, yeah, just brake checking and unfortunate there. We haven't talked much about the straightaways being a factor at Dover. It's very steep in the corners, to say the least, at 24 degrees. But on the straightaways, both front and back, it's 9 degrees of banking. And that can be a little bit of a challenge for these guys, as you can see a lot of people coming down pit road for their final stops of the race. Now, this is probably where we see guys try to thread the needle and take 2 tires to move up on track position. Look at the 17 of John Forbes Jr. He's got the 3rd pit box. Wouldn't be surprised if he took 2.
I'm really watching the 77 here. I want to see what he does. Is he's going to go right sides up on the car. And there it is. Sebastian Marin takes right sides. 77 Venable takes right sides. Who else takes right sides? The 4 of Justin Bolton. Lots of cars took right sides only there. So that's an interesting situation to see, and that's going to mix things up greatly. Brody Falliker into 4th place. Zach Kerr up into 5th. So take this race, put it in a bottle, shake it up. Your top 5 all only took 2 tires. So if we pop out that pit timer on the right-hand side, there you go. Anyone under about 12 seconds, that's 2 tires. Anyone above that, that's 4 tires. How's it going to mix up? Well, if you're James Scioli, Jonathan Evans, and Jake Nichols, you really hope it means you win.
Yeah. Scioli, Evans, they're really in a good spot. Jake Nichols, Jeff Wright as well. Also looking at David Weissart, mentioned his best finish this season was 19th at the Glen. He's up to 8th now, looking to try to get his first top 10 of the season. Slaughter just outside in 11th. I'm kind of shocked that the 17 didn't take 2 tires, especially with the way his race has been a slow, hard-fought climb towards that top 10, trying to keep that streak alive. Again, 6 races straight for John Forbes Jr. He's finished inside the top 10. They'll be restarting in 17th. So unless the 2 tires just don't work out for everybody, I think Forbes Jr. is going to have a hard-fought climb again to keep that top 10 streak alive, as Marin, kind of shocked that he took 2, not going to lie, but without as fast as he is, kind of not surprised at the same time, but he's going to restart on the inside line.
I kind of think Marin's going to be okay on this one with Michael Venable there in 2nd place. The big thing, again, as has been the case, Michael Venable has to nail this restart. If he lets Sebastian Marin just run away with it, nothing matters, and that 24 just has to complete 8 solid, consistent laps. Venable has to bring something for a challenge here, and that's where the question's going to be. We come through, here is the green flag, we're underway, and that might be the best restart that Venable's had all day, but still he's behind here as we go down into turn 1 and 2, and look at that. This is going to be an interesting one all the way to the end.
Yeah, Justin Bolton there again, a good jump. He's up to 3rd, and it's a dogfight from 4th on back. Falker trying to look to the inside of him. It's still Marin leading the way. Hard hit! Skyler the outside wall hard. They're wrecking big time in turn 3. The yellow's back out with 8 to go, and John Forbes Jr. is caught up in it. Ooh. He gets T-boned by the 09 of Bryce Senesac, and an unfortunate end to the night for many.
Hard hits all the way around. Man, not at all what I expected there, as cars will get their way off of the grid, and we will go to a 1 good replay here. See if we can't get an idea of how this one really kicked off. I mean, we saw the 7 sort of set everything off, so I don't think we really need a conversation about how that started it, but it was everything after that that really caught my attention as we go. So here's your replay. We're going to slow this one down a little bit. So the 7, the 26, that kicks things off. And that is one heck of a hit. 51 gets wrapped into it. The 88 gets wrapped. Oh, not the 88. And then from there, the 93, the 17, the 27.
Wow.
There's cars down low that are coming into it. The 71 is off. The 61. Where did the 71 come into play on this one?
We had a wreck in the back just checking up from this.
Let's see.
Yeah, there was a lot. There's a lot more to unfold from this than I thought. We had 2 separate wrecks happen at the same time.
I know that sometimes happens, but man. All right, so here is that separate wreck. So it was the 8, the 11, and the 71 went down. And I mean, just carnage. 23, the 70. Half the field is gone from this. We're at Dover. This isn't a super speedway.
Well, we still got laps left in the race, so Miles is still hungry. I will say, though, that inside wall in turn 3 that kind of pokes out, I'm not a big fan of that. I'm not sure why that's there. I don't like it for that specific reason, and mainly it's just for real-life purposes, but in the sim, it's even worse with the way they're bouncing off the wall. Because you saw what happened with Bappy. He just careened off that inside wall right back in front of the field and took out another 7-8 cars with him.
Yeah, and I mean, there's not a lot he can do at that point, unfortunately, as it goes through. As we come back to live pictures here. Apologies for the delay. Back into live pictures we go. And, I mean, at this point, I wouldn't imagine anyone pits. Nobody pits. Everyone stays out. We're 1 to green for what will be essentially a 4-lap shootout.
Pretty much. It's still Sebastian Marin in the 24 going to be the leader. And we've seen how tough it is for the car on the outside lane to get a good jump on the restart. Michael Venable had about as good of a jump as anyone's had this week and even in this race. So he'll have to try and do that again. But you saw when they head into turn 1, it's kind of tough to follow suit because then the 77's already out by about a car length or two by the time they get to turn 1. So even then it's going to be a challenge, but more so interested in how Brody Falker is going to hold off the field with 2 tires, trying to get a season best finish inside the top 5. Bolton and Nichols, they round out the top 5, and will we make it back to the white flag? We'll have about 4 laps to do so.
Look at the amount of cars in the back of the field that just straight up don't have hoods. That is what's really caught my eye. Look at that as we go through. Sebastian Marin will bring us back to the Geico restart zone for what might be one more time. And what a beautiful jump. Venable's now under trouble here because Bolton is going to have him here basically for breakfast, lunch, and dinner as they come through. Coming around out of 2 to the inside will be the number 4, Bolton. Venable to the outside. And as they come through, I mean, you just got to watch, see what happens. They're wiggling in the background. But up front, somehow Venable holds it together.
Oh, Evans is sideways in the middle of 3 and 4. He's trying to save it, and he will. He's going to lose a lot of time in positions as we're on 3 to go now. And Venable, even though he didn't get going on the restart, we're wrecking. Forget that. Green-white checker number 1 going to come out. We have a yellow with 3 laps to go, so we're heading into overtime. Yeah, that kind of plateaued there in the middle of 3 and 4 that last time through where the 26 was sideways, and it just kind of didn't die down.
Yeah, not at all. Replay pulled up of what just happened. That was a big moment there. Yeah, Evans with the big wiggle, and not going to be able to get the replay pulled up, unfortunately, here. We'll go back to live pictures as green-white checkered is going to be underway here. Does anyone pit? Does anyone opt for this to be the time to pit? I wouldn't think so.
Not unless you have damage. That's the only thing I can think of, but yeah, unfortunate to see so many cars get caught up in this. And again, we usually don't have these sorts of cautions at Dover. I mean, not in the Pro Series. I mentioned in Season 6 we had only 4 yellows, and that was the most before tonight's race. Tonight, I believe that was our 8th yellow. I could be mistaken, but it's a lot more to say the least. We usually average about 2 yellows. We usually have long green flag runs to end the race. Has not been the case this season. Like I said, anything can happen really on any given Thursday night. And started out okay. Had some tempers flare early on, but towards the end of this one, caution's been breeding a lot of cautions and been breeding a lot of big wrecks as well. So Miles the Monster definitely going home very happy. I don't think he's full yet. Might have a couple more left, but really it's Sebastian Marin's race to lose at this point. He's been the car to beat not only on the restarts, but on overall pace as well. That short run, long run, restarts. It's been all Sebastian Marin, and Michael Venable has been second fiddle. And I mean, it's a shame if he can't get the win, but nonetheless, it'd be a season. It would tie a season best for Venable, and he entered tonight 22nd in the points. He got the pole. I felt like that was a big, crucial point. Didn't lead the first lap, but he still could be the first driver to win from the pole here at Dover in the Pro Series if something drastically happens on this restart to the 24.
Anything can and will happen on a green-white checkered. That is the one rule that I kind of have, is anything can, anything will happen. And it's sort of just as a case of sit back and enjoy is the best advice I can give you as we go through. You can see cars missing hoods. You can see cars down smoking on pit lane. I mean, nothing they can do about it at this point. You're here. You're locked in. It's green-white checkered. Remember the rules of the green-white checkered. We got 3 attempts to get this thing finished under green flag. If we get to the white, the next flag will end it, and the next flag will be the checkered flag as we go through. Michael Venable, you've been in the worst possible starting position every time all the way through. He's got to nail it here. Hunter, he has no choice but to nail it here. If he messes this one up, he may not get another try.
Yeah, and the tough thing with trying to nail it is you don't want to go too early and then get penalized for going earlier in the restart box than the leader. So really in a tough position, and especially in points. He entered the night 22nd in the standings. He comes through with second. It's fine points-wise, but obviously that win, very crucial. Want to lock yourself into the playoffs. But Sebastian Marin coming through to the restart zone, looking for his 5th win of the season. Coming through, and the green flag's back waving. Overtime attempt number 1 underway, and Venable got a good jump to the outside of the 24.
He could not have gotten a better restart there, I think, going through, but unfortunately, I don't know that it's going to be enough as we come through 1 and 2. They're going to go 2 by 2. Sebastian Marin just wants them to keep battling. He wants to go through. Into 3 and 4, we're going to go here. Hunter, I might be speaking too soon as we come around. Let's see how this goes as they come through. Barney on the flag stand has the white flag. We've taken the white flag final lap.
Carnage can still occur on the final lap, but it's all Sebastian Marin. 4 car lengths out from Michael Venable. Down the backstretch for the final time. That's about as picture-perfect of a race as you can get. He didn't quite get the pole, but he did lead the most laps, and he'll come through off turn 4 for the final time for his 5th Pro Series win of the season. Sebastian Marin gets the job done at Dover, Delaware. Michael Venable in 2nd. Justin Bolton comes through in 3rd. We'll talk to those guys shortly, and it's Jake Nichols. And how about Jeff Wright sneaking through for a top 5?
Yeah, great run from him there going through. I mean, beautiful run, and you can see the 77, the 24, both know they ran a hard race. Michael Venable with a great run through there, and, well, this is where everyone comes and gives their little congratulatory taps, the fun wiggle there of the happiness of the win for Sebastian Marin. Already many wins for Sebastian Marin throughout this area iRacing series, and, well, he just had to add another one to the belt here. So he'll come through and, well, he'll kick things off and get his burnouts going.
You just had to do it to him. That's usually how it is with Sebastian Marin. He usually comes out and he dominates. Looking through the least amount of laps he's led in a win this season, 66 at New Hampshire. Every other time it's been in the 80s or above. 83 at Rockingham, 86 or 88 at Darlington, I should say, and then 116 at Homestead, Miami. This one clear, cut, and dry. Probably above that, might be close to 130. Sebastian Marin gets the job done. Venable, solid 2nd place finish, going to be good for the points as they update. Bolton with another top 5 finish, and his 6th start, all of them been inside the top 10. We'll talk to him in a few minutes. Jake Nichols, Jeff Wright round out the top 5. Brody Falliker, solid finish in 6th. Zach Kerr, 7th. Brad Slaughter, the 8-car finish in 8th. David Weishart, best finish of the season in 9th. And Travis Spector, saw him get caught up in a couple of wrecks. He manages to come through for a top 10 finish.
Moving on from there, P11 was Brady Walleman, and a great run there. Jeremy Miller in P12, Philip Groner in P13, and Reese Schaefer finds 14th place. Alan Fox in P15, Casey Lakatis in P16, Nico Servideo in P17, Daniel Day in P18, Francis Hamilton 19th, Connor Horn in 20th.
And then outside the top 20, Andrew Payne 21st, Opplinger 22nd. Ben Pierce, didn't mention him at all tonight, but he finished 23rd. Joseph Berg, 24th. And then tough finishes for Anna Sogak in 25th. Bryce Senestack, 26th. Forrest Smith, 27th. And then Jonathan Evans, John Furness, and Matt Kemp round out the top 30.
Finishing out the rest of the field here, Matthew Batby in 31st, James Scioli in 32nd, John Forbes Jr. 33rd, and then it's Garrett Grant, Jimmy Cocker, Ed Robertson, Nate Stewart, Blaze McKinney, Greg Mitchell, Braxton DeWeese and Zach Nichols, the 41 cars that took on this race today. What do you say we talk to the winner here, Sebastian Marin, and see where he is at floating around? And Hunter, I believe you've caught up with him to have a brief word with one Mr. Marin.
Indeed, I have. It's the 5th win of the season for you, Sebastian, in dominating fashion. Take us through your events so far from Dover, Delaware. I mean, couldn't have been too bad. I mean, led all but I think a few laps. But yeah, take us through your night and what you thought about Miles the Monster treating you so kindly.
Yeah, it was a great night. Obviously started at the front row. With how the restarts are, I can kind of try and guess when the green's gonna come out, and I just got a good start. Mike wheel spinned off the line, so then I was able to get him there, and then after that it was just smooth sailing, and yeah, just hoping the cautions didn't come out at bad spots, which they didn't, fortunately. And then right there at the end, I knew track position was going to be key, so I was kind of banking on a lot of cars taking 2 tires, which enough people did. So we were kind of safe from the 4-tire guys, and there wasn't a long enough run where the 4 tires were going to come into play. And then after that, it was just not lose the lead on a restart or make a mistake, and take the victory home.
Well, I kind of lied about that. You did lead every single lap. I'm looking at it here. I don't think. Well, no, this has happened before, but it's been a while since we've seen a dominating performance like that from anyone in the field. 143 laps led all by you tonight, and congrats on the dominating effort. Take us through quick your thoughts on Kansas next week.
Oh, I'm excited for Kansas. Recently we've kind of been used to driving these a little tight setups that the iRacing officials provide. But from what I can remember, that Kansas setup is really, really loose. So it should be really, really fun. Obviously, Kansas being multi-groove and stuff like that, you're gonna be all over the road. So I'm excited for next week. I love how that setup drove last time I drove it. So I'm really looking forward to that, because who knows that. I mean, somebody that's really good with a loose set can just come out of nowhere and be really good there. So next week should be really, really good week for racing, and just in general. The car, I think most people will enjoy how it drives.
The man everybody's chasing after, his 5th win of the season at Dover. Sebastian Marin, congrats.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Have a good night, guys.
Awesome. And then from there, we'll catch up with our second place driver, Michael Venable with Lucky Duck Motorsports. Let's see. Michael, sir, it was a hard fought day. You always found yourself in second, though. A great win. Talk me through your night.
Oh, that setup is not what I needed. I needed something that was like pretty loose. It was so hard to do anything. I can't imagine the racing in the back. It was just rough night. A lot of on throttle time.
Yeah, it was a fun run here in the booth, I'll say, but I gotta ask, the restarts just didn't seem to be your forte. What do you think there's anything different with the restarts you could have done to try to have a run, or what was it there that just you didn't seem to have on Sebastian Marin tonight?
I like to say I'm a good representation of Jeff Gordon on restarts. I cannot get it going. That's just a pure skill issue.
I respect the honesty. I do respect the honesty a lot. So I'm going to ask the question here. What are we thinking for next week then?
Kansas? Is it Kansas?
Yes.
Hopefully it's a looser set. That'd be great. I don't know. I really need like top 5s to get a chance at getting to a top 12 in points for trying to get into the championship stuff. So I just need to put some races together.
Awesome.
That's about all I can do.
I definitely think it's doable for you, man. You had a great run tonight. Congratulations on the second place. Anyone you want to thank or shout out before we let you go?
Shout out to Lucky Ducks, and glad that I've been able to be a part of this team. They've been really cool people to work with, so glad to be here.
Awesome, man. We're glad to have you as well. Congrats on the P2, and hopefully Corey will get to speak with you next week.
Thank you. Yeah, that'd be sweet.
And Hunter, that was our second place finisher, Michael Venable there. Overall, it's been a fun night, I gotta say. Everybody seems to really be enjoying things. Great racing as always here in the Area Pro Series. And, you know, I think Miles really is the happiest out of all of us.
Yeah, I mean, he gets to go home tonight with a belly full of race cars, and couldn't ask for a better day if you're Miles the Monster, or couldn't ask for a better day if you're Sebastian Marin. I mean, it was the first time since, I believe, season 2 or season 3 at Bristol with Ryan Hartz, where someone led the race from flag to flag. I'll have to double check on that, but nonetheless, I mean, what a interesting race to say the least from Dover. Got quite chaotic there towards the very end. Have to see what next week has in store for us at Kansas. Always a fun place to go to on these 1.5 miles. And looking through, and yeah, this was back in season 2. Ryan Hart's the only other driver in the Pro Series ever to lead the race from flag to flag. He led all 195 laps at Bristol, and Sebastian Marin is the only other driver to do so.
That's a ridiculous stat. I'm just going to say it. That's a ridiculous statistic. So cool to hear, though. And we'll continue to see how people submit their legacies here in the Area iRacing series. All 3 of them, the Cup, the Truck, and the Pro. But tell you what, Hunter, lots of things coming up on PTR TV, of course. Sunday, kicking off our next week of action with Triple Bypass. Of course, Area will be around on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays on the Area iRacing Twitch. Make sure you check them out. Make sure you check out Shop Area iRacing. Buy some things. There's a couple things on there that I'm eyeballing. I might have to see if I can't get like a little bit of a deal there. So it's been a good race here at Dover. Hunter, we're going to send this one off into the sunset. What do you say?
Yeah, might as well send it off with a sunset over to the beach down south or north or wherever you want to call it. In Dover is pretty close to the ocean.
Yeah, it is. But on behalf of Hunter, my name is Brad, and I hope you've enjoyed this one. Until the next time, we'll see you soon. Good night.